But before we get to your legal exploits, I want to talk about something you used to call your first love, art. And I remember I read a quote that you said it was your first love, but when you were growing up, you had to choose a concrete degree.
Yeah.
Going forward. So that's why you studied law.
Yeah.
But right now, do you see like art as a career then and now? Do you see differences? Has it grown in a better space for you? Do you see it as a valid career path for someone to take?
I would say yes and no. Yes, in that the earlier you start in any career, the better. The longer you get on the highway, the better chance you are of reaching a destination. So had I started an art career early, I think that would have been beneficial, but just for art's sake. But why I say no is that you can't really gauge where you would have been career-wise, because I probably would have studied something, and depending on the university I went to or my faculty members and my classmates, that could have determined where I ended up. So I could have ended up in a corporate space where my creativity would have still been stifled somehow.
I understand.
So I think the advantage I had was that because I didn't need it to put food on the table, it wasn't my 9 to 5, I could focus on the art I wanted to create and not necessarily the art that my boss or the corporations wanted me to create. So I wasn't doing it for a check, which means I could just do whatever the hell I wanted to. So I think that was more beneficial because I ended up exploring not just art for art's sake, but I explored it in terms of how it made me better, how it balanced my life, balanced my other career. So I think it worked out either way, because anything you're forced to do, you lose the passion for it. So because I just did it in my own time, I've always done it from a place of passion, and it's never been tainted by the economics of doing art.
Incredible. Well, you attended the Hive Network Entrepreneurship Conference in 2019, and you spoke about how, yes, you're an attorney now, and art was your first love. You found your way to work in the legal space of artists itself. Can you kind of give just a base, maybe a few things as to how that kind of actually is? Like what kind of issues would you encounter as an artist and then working in the legal space?
Yeah, so how that came about was we spoke to creative entrepreneurs. Now, in a creative space, especially when you're a creative entrepreneur, you're trying to monetize creativity, which in an economy like ours is hard to do because our economy isn't developed to consume creativity well.
Yes.
So what that means is that you need to create the market for yourself. You need to create market share for yourself. Now, all of those principles apply to all companies. The problem is that the insight into those universal concepts haven't trickled down into the creative space, because how creatives usually are is that they do their own thing in an enclosed environment, and then whatever it is that they produce, they hope that someone is there to accept it or to consume it. So they don't actually plug it into an actual economic incentive. So what we spoke about was, okay, take your creativity, how do you then monetize it? What are the steps you need to take to formalize the economic relationship between your creative endeavor and the actual market that you're going to be presenting it to? Because without a market, it doesn't matter what your idea is, it doesn't matter what your service or product, without a market it's useless.
Yes.
So if you can't tap into that market, then you may as well just be doing this thing as a hobby. So that's what we try to get them to see that your creativity in itself isn't special when we're talking about the economic impact thereof. All you guys need to do is plug and play what all other companies in the world are doing and just apply that to your creativity. And that's how you end up having a monetizable corporate entity around your creativity. Then you can monetize it, make money, and form a business from there.